When it gets hard, the first thing you've got to do is remind yourself why you started in the first place. Because the truth is, pain, difficulties, setbacks, they're not going anywhere. They're part of the process. But when you're rooted in a deep why, when you know exactly what you're chasing and why it matters to you, it creates a fire inside that no obstacle can put out. Most people give up not because they don't have the talent, not because they don't have the opportunity, but because they lose sight of the reason they began. They forget the purpose, and without that, the struggle feels pointless. But when you hold on to your why, every ounce of effort, every tear, every late night, every early morning has meaning. Think about it. When life punches you in the gut, when you feel like you've got nothing left, what's going to push you to get back up? Motivation alone won't cut it. Motivation fades. Your feelings change. But your why, your purpose, that's steady. That's what whispers to you in the dark. Keep moving. Don't stop here. You're not done yet. Some of you are fighting battles right now that feel too heavy, but you've got to tie that fight to something greater than the pain. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's proving to yourself that you're capable of more. Maybe it's breaking a cycle that's been holding your bloodline hostage for generations. Whatever it is, you've got to lock into it so tightly that quitting is no longer an option. Because the moment you let your why fade, the world will give you 1,000 reasons to stop. Life will tempt you to settle, to give in, to walk away. And if you don't have that anchor inside of you, you'll listen to those voices. But when your reason is clear, you can look hardship in the face and say, I might bend, but I will not break. I might hurt, but I will not quit. And that's the difference between those who make it through and those who don't. So I'm telling you today, go back to the beginning. Go back to the moment you said, this is what I want. Relive the hunger you felt. Remember the dream that made your heart beat faster. Let that vision fuel you again. Write it down, say it out loud, keep it in front of you every single day, because you're going to need it when the nights get long and the weight feels unbearable. That why is the only thing strong enough to carry you through the fire and out the other side. And when it feels like you can't go another step, remind yourself of this truth. Your why is bigger than your pain. When life gets heavy, most people immediately focus on what's going wrong. They see the obstacles, the setbacks, the disappointments, and that becomes all they think about. But here's the truth. What you choose to focus on is shaping how you feel, how you act, and ultimately whether you quit or keep pushing. If you spend all your energy staring at the problem grows. If you shift your perspective and start asking, what's the opportunity here? What is this moment trying to teach me? How can I grow through this? Suddenly, the same challenge that looked like a dead end starts to look like a doorway. It's not that the struggle disappears. It's not that it suddenly becomes easy. It's that your mindset creates the frame through which you see it. Two people can face the exact same situation. One sees defeat, the other sees possibility. And the difference isn't the circumstance, it's the perspective. So when it gets hard, you've got to discipline yourself to look beyond the immediate pain and see the bigger picture. Ask yourself, how can this setback set me up for a greater comeback? That question alone changes the energy you bring to the fight. You see, obstacles are not roadblocks, they're checkpoints. They're moments designed to reveal what's inside of you. The pressure, the difficulty, the opposition. It's testing your character, your resilience, your commitment. If you only see them as problems, you'll miss the chance to grow. But if you recognize that inside every challenge is an opportunity to sharpen your skills, to strengthen your faith, to level up your mindset, then suddenly the pain becomes part of the process that's molding you for the future you've been praying for. Too many people let hardship convince them that they're unqualified or unlucky, when in reality it's just preparation. Diamonds don't form without pressure. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Leaders don't emerge without battles. So if it feels heavy, if it feels overwhelming, don't let that trick you into thinking it's the end. Let it remind you that something inside of you is being developed, something you're going to need on the other side. You have to train your eyes to see what most people miss. While others complain about the weight, you've got to say, this is building me. This is refining me. This is equipping me. And when you start speaking that way, when you start thinking that way, you find the strength to keep moving forward even when the road is rough. Because deep down, you know, this isn't happening to destroy me. It's happening to prepare me. So the next time life gets hard, don't just ask, why me? Ask instead, what can I gain from this? Because the real power is not in the obstacle itself, but in the opportunity hidden within it. When everything feels heavy, when the weight of life is pressing down, motivation will not always be there to carry you. That's the mistake so many people make. They wait to feel inspired before they move. They wait for that surge of energy before they act. But the reality is your feelings are inconsistent. One day you'll wake up fired up, ready to run through walls, and the next day you won't even want to get out of bed. If your progress depends on how you feel, you'll never make it to the finish line. That's why discipline has to become your foundation. Discipline is what keeps you moving when the emotions fade, when the excitement is gone, and when the struggle feels endless. Discipline is showing up regardless of the mood. It's telling yourself, I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm frustrated. I don't care if it doesn't feel good. I made a commitment and I'm going to honor it. That kind of mindset separates the ones who talk about success from the ones who actually achieve it. Because talk is cheap when everything is going well. Anyone can keep going when the sun is shining. But discipline is proven in the rain, in the storm, in the moments when everything in you says stop, but you still take another step. Think about it. Every great achievement in history was built on consistency, not convenience. The athletes who win championships aren't the ones who trained only when they felt like it. They put in the reps on the days their bodies ached, on the mornings they wanted to stay in bed. The entrepreneurs who built legacies didn't wait for perfect conditions. They executed daily even when doubt and fear were screaming at them. That's the beauty of discipline. It ignores the noise and locks in on the mission. And here's the truth. The small daily choices add up. You might not see the result immediately, but every disciplined action is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, you're proving to yourself that you can be trusted to finish what you started. That self-trust is powerful because once you know you'll keep your own word, nothing can stop you. Discipline builds confidence, and confidence fuels endurance. It's not glamorous. Most of the time, nobody is clapping for you. Nobody sees the sacrifices, the early mornings, the long nights. But later, when the breakthrough comes, people will call it luck, when in reality it was discipline. It was the choice to keep showing up long after motivation disappeared. So understand, this motivation may spark the fire, but discipline keeps it burning when the wind tries to blow it out. And if you can master discipline, there will never be a day too hard to keep going. One of the biggest reasons people stop when it gets hard is because they see failure as the end of the road. They treat every setback like a final judgment, like it's proof they weren't good enough or strong enough to make it. But the truth is, failure isn't final, it's feedback, it's information. It's a mirror reflecting what you need to adjust, what you need to strengthen, what you need to learn. If you can shift your mindset to see it that way, suddenly failure loses its power to break you. It no longer becomes a signal to quit, it becomes a signal to grow. Every person you admire, every story of greatness you've ever been inspired by is full of moments where they failed. The difference is they didn't let that failure define them. They used it. They studied it. They treated it like a teacher. That's the part most people skip. Instead of asking, why me? They ask, what is this trying to teach me? And when you begin to frame failure as a lesson instead of a loss, you give yourself permission to keep moving forward. Failure isn't proof you're not capable. It's proof you're in the arena. It's evidence that you're trying, that you're stretching yourself beyond comfort, that you're in the fight. Nobody who ever accomplished anything significant did it without setbacks. You can't learn resilience without resistance. You can't build strength without struggle. And you can't develop wisdom without mistakes. So instead of running from failure, lean into it. Welcome it as part of the process, because every stumble is pointing you toward what needs refining. Too often we let failure attack our identity. We start believing, I failed, therefore I am a failure. But those are not the same. Failing at something doesn't mean you're broken. It means you just discovered another way that doesn't work. And every time you discover what doesn't work, you're closer to discovering what does. Think about it like training in a gym. Every rep that burns is building muscle. Every failed attempt is shaping you, toughening you, preparing you for the next round. The only real failure is refusing to get back up. Life is not punishing you when you fall short. It's positioning you. The lessons hidden inside failure are often the very tools you're going to need for the breakthrough you've been waiting for. That's why you can't despise those moments. You've got to value them because they're sculpting you into the person who can actually carry the dream you've been chasing. So don't run from failure. Don't fear it. Don't let it convince you to quit. See it for what it really is: a teacher, a guide, a stepping stone. And remember, failure only wins if you stop trying. When life gets tough, it's not just about pushing harder. It's also about protecting your peace and your energy. Because the truth is, You can be motivated, disciplined, and even have a strong why. But if you allow the wrong people and the wrong environments to drain you, it won't matter how strong you started. You'll burn out before you finish. You've got to understand that not everyone and not everything deserves access to your energy. Hard times require focus, and focus requires peace. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, by voices telling you it can't be done, by distractions that pull your attention away from the mission, it becomes almost impossible to endure. Protecting your peace means creating boundaries. It means having the courage to say no, even to things that look good but aren't aligned with where you're going. It means limiting the time you spend with people who drain you instead of fuel you. Some of you are carrying unnecessary weight right now, not because life gave it to you, but because you're allowing people into your space who don't belong there. You can't expect to climb mountains while dragging anchors. Sometimes the hardest part of protecting your peace is making those tough choices. Letting go of toxic relationships, saying goodbye to old habits, removing yourself from environments that no longer serve the future you're building. And it's not just about who you keep out. It's also about what you let in. Protecting your peace means feeding your mind and spirit with things that give you strength. The books you read, the content you consume, the conversations you engage in, they all either recharge you or drain you. In the middle of hardship, you can't afford to fill your mind with fear, gossip, or distractions. You need fuel. You need words that build you, images that inspire you, people who believe in you. Surround yourself with energy that matches where you're trying to go. When you learn to protect your peace, you start to realize that your environment is just as important as your effort. You can be working hard, but if your environment is toxic, you'll always feel stuck. But if your environment is supportive, if your atmosphere is full of positivity, encouragement, and focus, then even in hard times, you'll find the strength to keep going. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. Because you can't pour out strength if you're constantly empty inside. So when the storm comes, guard your energy like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. And remember, not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Choose wisely who and what you allow into your space, because your peace is the shield that will protect you until you reach the other side. One of the hardest things to accept when you're in the middle of a struggle is that breakthroughs don't happen overnight. We live in a world that celebrates instant results, quick success, fast money, overnight recognition. But real growth, real change, real impact, that's a long game. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And the ones who make it through the storms are the ones who learn to embrace the process step by step, day by day, even when it feels like nothing is happening. The truth is, most of the work you put in will go unnoticed at first. You'll be grinding in the dark while others are sleeping. You'll be making sacrifices that nobody claps for. You'll be building discipline when nobody is watching, and that can feel discouraging. But you've got to remember that the seeds you plant today don't sprout tomorrow. It takes time, it takes nurturing, it takes patience. Just because you can't see the results yet doesn't mean the work isn't paying off. Something is happening beneath the surface, something you can't measure day to day, but it's building toward a harvest if you don't quit. That's why endurance is so important. Anybody can be consistent for a week. Anybody can be focused for a month. But what about when it takes years? What about when the pain doesn't let up? When the results don't show up? When the road feels longer than you imagine? That's where most people give up right before the breakthrough. They tap out because they thought it would come quicker. They underestimate how much patience it takes to become who they're meant to be. But if you can embrace the long game, you take the pressure off needing everything to happen now. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. You stop demanding instant gratification. Instead, you learn to trust the process, to value progress over perfection, to celebrate small wins, to recognize that every day you keep going, you're one step closer. That mindset is what allows you to endure seasons of difficulty without losing hope. See, hardship isn't just about testing your strength. It's about testing your patience. Can you stay faithful when it feels like nothing is moving? Can you keep building when the results are invisible? Can you stay committed even when it feels like the finish line is out of sight? Because if you can, life will reward that persistence in ways you can't even imagine. So don't rush the process. Don't despise the waiting. Don't give up because it's taking longer than you thought. Every step matters. Every season has purpose, and every delay is shaping you for what's coming. And when you finally see the breakthrough, you'll realize it wasn't about how fast you got there. It was about how strong you became on the way.